Is Daryl Dike ready for the Premier League or not? Well, that's what we're going to dive into in this video today. And hi, if you're new here, I'm Filippo. Welcome to the channel. And no one better than me to talk about Daryl Dike, right? I mean, I know Daryl Dike very well. Well, we don't get dinner together or anything, but I know him very well as a soccer player. So in this video, we're going to try to analyze if he's ready or not for the Premier League. Obviously, only time will tell. If he does play there, he could prove us right or wrong. But we're going to dive into his stats in Barnsley, Orlando City, try to compare, try to draw some parallels in between them. Then we're going to go towards what some professional players think about it. We're going to have also special guest Connor Nolan, our UK correspondent, talking a little bit about the Championship and the Premier League as well throughout the video. Lastly, in the video, I'm going to talk about where I want Daryl Dike to go next season and where I think he will go. I'm going to give my silly prediction of where he will go. So with that said, I want you guys to comment down below and tell me, where do you want Daryl Dike to go next season, and tell me why. And I just sound like the Backstreet Boys now. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you like this type of content. And if you like this content, make sure to share it as well. Share the video. And if you don't like it, share with one of those friends that you really don't like or that family member that you don't get along with. And a special thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring us at the month of May. Thank you very much for sponsoring us independent creators. It's a great soccer. It's soccer. It's not OneFootball. It's OneSoccer. But anyway, OneFootball is a great soccer app. You can find match trackers, highlights, stats, everything to keep you updated with the USMNT, Orlando City, Daryl Dike, Barnsley, whatever you need. So go download the app. There's a free download link down in the description for Android or your iPhone. You'd be helping the channel and yourself as well. Okay, so before I get into the analysis, let me get everyone up to date on what his transfer situation currently is. So there have been many rumors that Dike is going to be heading to the Premier League as of late due to all his success at Barnsley in the Championship. The strong rumors have from Everton. There's some weak rumors from Chelsea, Manchester United, maybe even stay at Barnsley if they're promoted. Most recently, we even saw some strong rumors of West Ham, which honestly, it would probably be a good fit for him if he goes as a backup to Mikel Antonio, but that's a little bit off topic right now. The transfer fee is anyone's guess. We have seen 4 million, 10 million, 20 million. Orlando City have spoken that they will not accept less than 20 million for him, but I could see them accepting less. I don't know exactly what the transfer fee is in regards to Barnsley. We're going to find all that out very soon this summer. So now let's go to what matters in this video, the analysis. And I'm going to start talking about his time in Orlando City. Then I'm going to go to Barnsley. Okay, so for Orlando City, Daryl Dike was actually very successful in a short period of time. He was very quickly successful for Orlando City after being selected 5th overall pick in the MLS Super Draft in 2020. He got very close in his first season of winning the Young Player of the Year award in MLS, falling behind Diego Rossi and Brendan Harrison. If the Rookie of the Year award still existed, he would have won it since both of the players mentioned were not rookies. Now for Orlando City, he played 22 matches, started 17 of them, scored 8 goals, had 2 assists. There he would also have an average of 22.8 touches per game with a passing accuracy of 70%, and he would lose the ball 7.6 times per game. He was absolutely fantastic with Orlando City. Oscar Pareja really knew how to develop and use Daryl Dike, along with him being a quick learner, athletic, and with a very high soccer IQ. The most impressive part of all of it is how quickly he improved every single game in Orlando City. It was very noticeable. So yeah, one thing to point out that I'm going to get to later in this video. He would get 22 touches and lose the ball 7 times. That's actually some very good numbers. And I know MLS has bad defense. We're going to get to that very soon. Now let's look into his Barnsley numbers and try to talk a little bit about his short time in Barnsley. At the time of this recording, which is around May 5th right now, he has been nothing but outstanding. At the time of this recording, he has 18 games played, 13 starts, 9 goals in the Championship. Impressive. But then, what about his other stats? Let's look into other stats, because I know as a center forward you can live and die by the amount of goals you score, but as analysts we have to look into everything, all the context of that. So the first thing to point out right away in Barnsley, which is a lot different from MLS and Orlando City, he's benefiting from their style of play, the lob balls, the balls in the air essentially. Did I just say balls in the air? But let's keep going to this. The style of play, the physicality of the Championship all benefit Daryl Dike. But let's get to why. So in Barnsley, he has 32 touches per game, which is higher than his 22 touches per game in Orlando. His passing accuracy is 48%, which is much lower than the 70% at Orlando. And he loses the ball roughly 15.6 times per game, which is way higher than the 7.6 per game in Orlando. So my point is, in Orlando, his technical ability and physicality were very good for MLS, and his stats were very impressive. Now in the championship, his technique seems like it's not quite enough for the physicality. He does have to make up with his athleticism and his soccer IQ to be effective in the league. But you can clearly see that it did hurt his technical stats, such as passing and losing possession. And losing possession, if you watch the games, most of the time he loses it. No, it's not because of the lob passes. A lot of the times it's due to a bad first touch. Alright, so before anyone comes up with the argument, oh, their passing styles lobs, while Orlando City of Oscar Pareja, we play with the ball on the floor. That is true. That is very true. But most of the balls he loses is a bad first touch, and the defender comes and sneaks away and gets the ball. So essentially what we found out at Barnsley is his mobility is fantastic up top. His athleticism, I don't even need to talk about it. His soccer IQ is very high. His positioning has been impressive there. He finds different ways to score as well. He can score in the box, outside, strong shots, acrobatic moves like the bicycle kick he had. So his soccer IQ is impressive, athleticism as well, but clearly the technique hasn't been enough. So what happens when we ramp up the level and move him into the Premier League? Clearly his technical part is not ready, since it's not even ready for the championship. Will his physicality and soccer IQ be enough to make up for it when he's playing against the best players in the world? Also, in his form and efficiency with Barnsley, is it something sustainable? The form that he's going on, can he do that for a full season? Maybe he's just very hot right now at that loan spell and it's working, but maybe he can't do it for a full season. We need to know that as well. Those are the questions we must ask ourselves. But at the end, I'll give you my final opinion towards all this. Right now, I'm just trying to report on stats. Okay, so let's see our UK sources real quick, talk about Daryl Dike very quickly, and then I'll get to my opinion at the end of the video. By now, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the like button to help the channel. If you're new, subscribe, hit the notification bell, as well as let me know where do you want Daryl Dike to go next season. I would really want to know. If you guys can comment down below, I would kindly say thank you. That's as much as I can do. And I'll tell you my opinion at the end of it. Let's keep going with the video. Okay, so Emil Heskey, a former English international and played several seasons for the Premier League, has spoken about Daryl Dike amid all these transfer rumors, especially on the Everton side. Heskey doesn't seem very sure about Daryl Dike. That's what it seemed like. And now I'm going to quote his words, not mine, his. And he's not so sure if Daryl Dike is ready for the Premier League. That's his opinion, doesn't mean he's right. The higher you get up the leagues, it becomes tougher. Defenders become cutter, goalkeepers become better, and everyone becomes fitter, stronger, and wiser. So you've got to become better. This was Emil Heskey's words when he was talking about Daryl Dike, what he thinks about Daryl Dike and if he's ready for the Premier League. He does have questions about that, and he was asked about it when the Everton rumors came out. Now, there have been players in the past that have done well in the Championship and very bad in the Premier League. There has also been the other way around. Players that have done very bad in the Championship and very well in the Premier League. For that, I'm going to bring Connor, our UK correspondent, to talk about a player that did very bad in the Championship and very well in the Premier League, and the other way around. Honestly, the player that did very bad in the Championship and does very well in the Premier League, you guys will get shocked when you hear this name. I don't know if many know about this. So let's bring in Connor. All right, Connor, our UK correspondent, Coventry fan, so he watches quite a bit of the Championship for some reason, and he does love the Premier League as well as everyone in the UK. Connor, can you give us a player that did very well in the Championship, but when he went to the Premier League, he didn't have the same success, and a quick reason why?
So I think the main player that springs to mind for me is a player called Ryan Sessegnon. So when he was at Fulham, he was voted like Young Player of the Year. There was talk about him even getting into the England squad. He was like, you know, the next sort of big England star. And then he spends his first season in the Premier League with Fulham, and just didn't work. And I think the main reason is that he was just rushed into it. He had this, you know, he was 18 years old. He was like the new sort of star, and it was marketed as this like the next big thing. And he was just rushed into it, and he just wasn't ready yet for that Premier League level.
And he did well in the Championship the season before, very well.
Oh yeah, like he was voted young. I think he was voted Young Player of the Year in the Championship. I think he was up for Player of the Year, getting into the England under-21 side. And then his first season in the Premier League, he's just coming up against like world-class players, and he's still a kid. Like he just wasn't ready for it.
Now I want you to play the other side of the coin. I want you to tell me a player that did bad in the Championship, but surprised everyone being very good in the Premier League.
Yeah. Well, I think it took me a long time to think of a player like this, but then, bless him, my friend Joe reminded me that Harry Kane, when he was in the Championship, did not play well. I think he played a total of about 16 games in the Championship over a couple of years, and I think he only scored twice. And then obviously went back to Tottenham, rose through the ranks, and now becomes, you know, the England captain that we see today.
That is interesting because essentially what it shows is we have players that we had a player that did poorly in the Championship, and now he is debatably the best center forward in the Premier League. So
yeah, I think it's great because he is one of those where it's like, he was, again, I think only like 20 years old when he was playing in the Championship, but through that experience of playing with a lot like bigger physical guys, it gave him a bit more sort of grit and determination to then go back into the Premier League when he's playing against more kind of ball playing defenders and like guys that aren't as like sort of hench and strong as the defenders in the Championship.
all right, guys, you heard it here. Daryl Dike will be better than Harry Kane. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Connor, thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome, mate.
Okay, you got a couple sources from England. Now let's talk about, is he ready for the Premier League or not? And that is such a tricky question, which honestly, we will only know over time. We won't know until it actually happens. But let me try to give you my opinion on it. The honest question is, it depends. With the right coach and team, I think he could do okay. Most certainly is not ready to come into any team, any system in place. So the short answer to it, he's not ready to come in for any team and be effective. He's not like a Kevin De Bruyne, a Mo Salah, that if you put him in any team right now, they'll be successful. He's not ready for that. But in the right system, the right coach, he can be very effective in the Premier League. Maybe even have an impact right away, or maybe in a season or two. So with that said, my personal opinion is he is not ready for the Premier League. That is my personal opinion. When we ramp up the level, I don't think he will be as effective. Simple as that. We talk about how it comes to the EPL, his physicality will likely be matched, his soccer IQ will likely be matched, and his technical deficiency will likely be more exposed. He also will have to go through a lot of pressure from the fans, something he's probably not accustomed to, because in MLS, there's really not that much pressure. And in the Championship, the pressure is not as big as in the Premier League for results. But you see, all of this that I said can be heavily improved. Daryl Dike is a potential EPL player in the future. He does have the talent. He has all the good attributes you need to be a good Premier League player. He just needs to improve certain aspects of his game that we've been talking about. If you give the right time, and the way Dike is hardworking, humble, talented, and extremely focused, I think he can be a great Premier League player if he does not rush things. If he goes somewhere else, plays, and after all, he is human. He does need a play to help his development. His confidence can't go down. We've had so many great players in the past, such as Wilfred Zaha, make the jump from the Championship too early and struggle for years until they could have an impact in the Premier League. So I really rather Dike go elsewhere rather than just stay in the Premier League, struggle and not play for many years, and then finally have an impact at age 25 or so. I want him to continue to get minutes. That is very important for his confidence and will reflect on his development. But you see, failing in the Premier League and coming back is not a problem also. He could fail in the Premier League, leave and come back. That has happened with Kevin De Bruyne, Mo Salah, and it works. So that's where I could be wrong. I can also be wrong that he could come up to the Premier League, to any team, and have a major impact right away. That can happen as well. So I could be very wrong in regards to all of that. That is just my opinion. Let me know yours as well. With all that said, clearly I don't want Daryl Dike to go to Premier League now. Not because I don't like Daryl Dike, but because I want him to develop more and be more prepared and come in having an impact right away. So where do I want him to go? Essentially the Dutch League. I would love to see Daryl Dike go to the Dutch League, develop his technical ability tactically as well. You can always develop that, gain more experience, more confidence, but go to a team that plays Champions League or Europa League soccer. I want him to get that international experience. Play some tough teams from time to time. Develop for a season or two, probably two would probably be best. And then I think he'll be more than ready for the Premier League if he continues to reach his potential. The potential's there, and the sky's the limit for this guy. I think he's a brilliant player. I think if he can improve these tiny little aspects of his game, especially the technical part, he could be a star for the US men's national team in the future. Right now, I don't consider him a starter, by the way, just to let you guys know. So my prediction of where he'll go, believe it or not, I think Daryl Dike could end up going to Fulham. Fulham loves Americans. We know that. They have Anthony Robinson. We had Clint Dempsey in the past as well, and many other Americans. They're going to go to the Championship. They're, at the time of this recording, they're pretty much relegated, if not already relegated when you're watching this. So Fulham will be in the Championship. They know Daryl Dike works in the Championship. He's one of the best players in the Championship. They know that. They could sign Daryl Dike to play there, and I think that would be absolutely fantastic. And I think they also would have the money to do so. And for marketing purposes, would be absolutely brilliant. And maybe Daryl Dike stay in the Championship for an extra season, and then getting promoted with Fulham and playing the Premier League a year from now, actually, one season from now, it might be better for Daryl Dike. All I just don't want, I don't want Daryl Dike to go to Premier League and get burned out. So guys, I want to thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully now you commented down below if Daryl Dike is ready for the Premier League or not. And you also commented where would you want Daryl Dike to go and why. Tell me why as well. Alright, I want to thank you all very much for watching and have a great day.